Nable Empower 2026. What a great event. First time I've ever gone. I was invited by their excellent leadership team. Sold out event there in Fort Lauderdale. We're 650 MSPs. Great talking tracks, great keynotes. Like I said, the leadership was great. They had this whole nerd area. It was like a cafe kind of area where people can go in and get some help. It was just set up really, really well. The leadership was incredible. Kim, MK, and Nadia, that helped me, and a couple other podcasters that were there as well. But just an incredible event. Was able to have 5 great conversations. Started off with Nadia, of course, Karasteros, and why community wins in the MSP world. I've had the pleasure of knowing Nadia for quite a while now, 15 years. Great for the community. She's just really energetic. Great conversation. The CEO, John Pagliuca, we have a lot of in common, John and I. Of course, we're big Manchester City fans. It was announced at this event that Nable has partnered with them, the official sponsor of their cybersecurity. They're the CTO of Man City, was speaking on stage with John, building resilient businesses like a championship team. Vikram Ramesh, great conversation with Vikram, the CMO. Has an engineer background, and now he's completely in this role now and loving it. Really engaging conversation. I enjoy talking to marketing people, from engineer to storyteller, winning in the AI era. And Stephanie Hammond, oh, what a delight. I got to meet Stephanie when I was there, and she ran the whole nerd cafe there. Really interesting insight, turning trust into revenue for MSP growth. Has been with Nable. I think she was like number 109 employees, something like that, 105, and there's well over 1,900 employees now. Great conversation with Stephanie, lots of energy. I look forward to working with her again in the future. And last but not least, Frank Colletti, another person I have a lot in common with. He is scaling MSP success in a changing tech landscape. A lot in common with Frank, and really great conversation, really engaging. The leadership, like I said, team there was tremendous. Really enjoyed my time at Empower 2026. Hi, I'm Joey Pinz, and here's my 45-second introduction. After starting my business in the 90s, I started developing poor habits of eating in my diet because I was working way too much. Before you know it, I found myself 340 pounds. The doctor told me if I don't lose the weight, I'm not going to see my daughter graduate. Took the next 7 months, lost 130 pounds. People think there's some secret. Ask me, how'd you lose that weight? Like there's some secret. There is no secret. How'd I lose the weight? Just one word: discipline. I've had other successes in life, and I attribute them all to discipline. Now, I'm not the king of discipline, but I believe that it can help all of us. Friends, colleagues convinced me to start a podcast. The podcast mission: how do we better ourselves and society? I talk to interesting people in health, fitness, sport, wellness, business, technology, science, art, and culture. And I eventually ask them how discipline plays a role in their life. Podcast vision: growth through learning from others. So you haven't had a double espresso yet?
I've had 2 espressos, 2 singles, so that would count as a double espresso.
I've been told that you're known to have some.
I do single espressos, not doubles.
And how do they help?
I do 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon.
Is that
That's
right?
It. Yeah, small
Just
coffee.
have it. Yeah.
I don't need a ton of it.
I say.
Just a little bit.
And if you go without it, what happens?
Nothing.
I say.
It's okay.
I say.
I just like to have a little espresso.
Good
it's just
for you.
part of my lifestyle.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly. Not too much coffee, not too little.
What's the favorite club in the bag?
That's an interesting question. There's a love-hate relationship with the driver.
Huh.
It's normally good to me, but some days it's not.
Yes.
But I have to say my favorite club is a 5-iron.
In this fast-paced MSP landscape, how do you stay ahead? Introducing MSPinfluencer.com, your ultimate hub for MSP news, insights, and community connection, powered by Forza Dash. More than 75,000 MSPs subscribe to our MSP Influencer Pulse weekly newsletter, staying informed and ahead of industry trends. Tune in to emerging podcasts from Joey Pinz and leading MSP voices, offering essential tips, powerful insights, and success stories. Explore our multi-authored blogs, crafted specifically for MSP leaders, delivering fresh perspectives and actionable strategies. Celebrate excellence with the industry-leading Forza MSP Influencer Awards, recognizing innovation, leadership, and impact in the MSP community. Join thousands of MSP professionals who trust MSPinfluencer.com to grow their business and expand their networks. MSPinfluencer.com, where today's MSP leaders connect, collaborate, and conquer. all powered by the Forza platform, helping MSP vendors work effectively with MSPs and helping MSPs grow.
A 5.
Yeah, because it can help you with a lot of tricky shots.
It can. If you got to keep it low. If
if you want it to roll, sometimes you need it to just roll up onto the green.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's one of my favorites.
A full 5 or like a pocket?
No, full 5. Full 5. I like hitting a full 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you're hitting your 5.
I don't know.
200?
No, I wish.
180?
Maybe 185 to 190.
190, yeah.
I usually will use it to let it roll for an extra 10 or 15 yards.
Sure, I see.
Yeah.
If there's no bunkers, you want it to chase a
No,
little bit?
that's when I use it. Is when I don't want to use my hybrid or something, because the hybrid might be the spray might be a little bit too much.
I see. Has golf benefited your life or hurt it?
Both.
In the same round.
Mentally, it keeps me sane because
Yeah.
it keeps me grounded.
Yeah.
I absolutely love doing it.
Yes.
It's challenging from a work perspective and a family perspective. So I'd say that's probably the downside. Right. However, I could be at the golf course playing every day.
Yeah.
And I think physically it keeps you in great shape.
It does. But you're in Ottawa, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So 7 months of golf? 8 months?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Thank you.
But I have a special place I go to in the DR. And we hit that 2 to 3 times during the winter.
Very nice.
And then that way I could keep the club swinging. And then we got these things called TrackMans and indoor
Yes, they do.
simulations,
Yes, you do.
which are nothing like it, but it allows you to swing.
What's that? Tooth of the Shark? Or is that Puerto Rico?
Teeth of the Dog.
Teeth of the
Teeth
Dog.
of the Dog.
Excuse me.
That's
Teeth of
right.
the
You're
Dog.
close.
Yes,
That's good.
Yes. I don't think I've ever played in DR.
It's very cool.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's right along the coast. There's 8
Yes.
holes right along the coast. But they got a better course there called Die For. And it's right on the Chavon River, and it's got this amazing cliff, and you're playing on the cliff. So many undulations, and very unforgiving, but forgiving if you hit the ball in the right spot.
Course,
you really get the roll in the right way.
I tried to talk people out of golf when they say, I should start. I say, are you sure?
Yeah.
Because it's wonderful, but it'll keep you up at night.
Yes, it does.
And it's time consuming, like you said, the family, it's expensive.
Yes, all of the above. But there's just this addiction when you hit the ball the right way.
Oh, it'll tempt you.
You see the tracer in your brain, and it's like, oh my God, I did that. Okay, I just got to repeat it.
Yeah.
And that could be good.
It's that easy.
And then you figure it out, and then you didn't. And you go home all depressed. But you go back again the next day for the next meeting.
I would take some new hires, like high-level hires, and I'd take them out on 18 holes. And you could tell a lot by a person by after 18 holes. Are they a club thrower?
Yeah.
How do they react after a bogey? How do they react after a birdie? Mm-hmm. You could just tell a lot a person just because it comes out there. The truth comes out on that, and that green.
I got all kinds
area.
of different friends that operate in different ways on the course. There's such an emotional roller coaster.
It really is.
I laugh at. Yeah, you got to stay level-headed.
You do.
And if
short memory. Got to forget.
Look at the Masters. Look at the ending of that Masters.
Yeah. Absolutely incredible.
Stay focused.
Yeah. And the analogies go on forever, right? You never have the same lie, right? It's just like life. You know, play it as it lies, right? You can't.
You love to pick it up and clean it.
Sure.
But it's not possible sometimes.
Drop it,
And drop it nicely. Oh, I'm impeded by it. No, you're not. You got to leave it right there. Hit it off the car path. Oh, that's really good. I don't do that.
I try not to do that. Yeah. By the way, you talk about the Masters. Did you hear about the cyber attack? What they did, the ransomware?
No.
So when you go to have you ever been?
Not the Masters, no.
Wonderful. Yeah, I've been 4
I got
times.
to go to the U.S. Open and the Ryder Cup this year, but not the Masters.
The Ryder Cup, yeah, that was something. Long Island there, yeah. They don't allow your cell phones there at the Masters. So you're there all day with your cell phones. So what some of these bad actors did is they found out who the significant other was of the person that was there, contacted them and said, hey, they're in jail. We need $5,000 to bail them out. And they couldn't be contacted to validate it. So the Augusta Police Department got hundreds of calls saying, is this legitimate? Is this really happening? And how did these bad actors find out that these people were at the Masters? Through social media.
Incredible.
So think about that. Think about how
That's
clever.
very sophisticated.
Yes.
Very sophisticated.
Very sophisticated. And they had no way to defend themselves. How's the espresso?
Average.
What makes a good espresso?
The bitterness and the strength. It's a little watered down. I call it the click when you actually have a real machine that actually grinds the beans.
Right. Is that what you have at home?
Absolutely.
Of course you do.
It's fully dialed in.
And it's a ritual too, right?
It is. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
It is a ritual.
It is, yeah, that's what I find.
And it's not long. It's not this big, long ordeal. There's not like a lot of liquid. And
Sure.
Actually got me a double, you see. This is a double, not a single. I could tell.
But yeah, the actors are here. So we're here at Empower.
Yeah.
Biggest event Enable's ever had, sold out, 650 MSPs, great vendor showing down there. You're doing a great job up there on stage. What are some of your goals this week?
Look, for me, it's the connection of the partners. Do we have our formula right? Is the playbook right? Are we doing the right things? We introduced business transformation, our peer groups, Rob Wilburn, David Weeks, and
I didn't know that. That's
and
great.
Massey. They have been running this program for the past 18 months, and we leveraged Empower to kind of bring it all together. And so to me, when I see those peer groups, when I see those groups all coming together here at Empower, it all of a sudden elevated it. And I was like, okay, we got that right. And then we look at our customer success team, the way we interact with our team. We made some changes to focus in on certain ICP type MSPs, like an MSP that's 1 through 10 employees, operates differently. It needs a little bit of help in a different way than these guys that are doing these massive roll-ups. You're talking to COOs and CEOs with private equity backed. And so how do we serve them? So we actually divided up our customer success team. Wow. And what's happening is here, I think the reason we got so many partners to come out is because we engaged with them and they're like, absolutely, I'm going to come. And so I felt that. And then we've got our VARs, our value-added resellers. So just another layer of MSPs that are a little bit higher up in the market. When we bought Illumin, they brought on a channel. Guess what? We got them here too. And you're like, wow, we've never experienced that.
Wow.
And then our value-added distributors in like non-English speaking countries, we have Italy represented, we have Brazil, we have Spain, we have France and Sweden.
Colombia. I talked to somebody from Colombia. Yeah.
And so they're here. And so they're gaining the same thing. And so for me, my biggest goal has been, okay, did we get the channel engagement right? Channel's number one for us. We're a channel first company. And so that's what this is all about. And then, hey, are the releases of the products that we heard Mike Adler talk about on stage, are those the right ones? Well, a few claps out there. Everybody's engaged with DRAS. Everybody's excited about Google Workspace. And, well, we introduced Enzo. And Enzo came up on stage. Enzo. Yes. That was John, not Enzo like the Italian Enzo. I love John's comment. It was awesome.
Right. That was really cool. Yeah.
So, that to me was really important.
When MSPs are choosing a security partner, what questions should they be asking?
They should be asking them when they should be looking at the firm. Is the firm reputable? Is the firm there for them when stuff goes down? Our job is to be there when it's messiest, right? When things are great, things are working. And I'm not just talking software, because software they call support. You got your traditional way you serve your customers. But in security, we just heard Dave McKinnon on stage, our CISO. It's how do you respond? Are you there to help them? Sometimes they just need to hold their hand and figure it out, because some little thing happened, but sometimes things completely blow up. And then that's where our teams really kick into gear, and it makes the customer feel great. So what they should be doing is evaluating what's that experience going to be like. I mean, there's great software out there, but it's the humans behind it that make a difference for them. Yeah, it really does. That's a big difference. And that's, I think that plays well for Enable, because that customer-centric mindset that we have when we bought Illumin and brought it into the portfolio, Mike Adler said to us, he said, hey, listen, everyone get ready. Like, we're a security company now. Wow. And we need to act different, and we need to respond different. We're not just a server that's going down, it's people's businesses completely. And so it's a mindset shift that we've had.
Yeah, and it's evident here. I talked to so many MSPs here, and It's just a wonderful event. Your leadership has been great too. So I'm a former MSP, right? And I talk to MSPs all the time, and I work with a bunch of them. And the three things that keep them up have been pretty consistent 5 or 6 years. First is cybersecurity. If their clients get hacked, they're going to have to allocate resources. They're flat rate, so they're going to lose money. They're probably going to get fired. They may even get sued.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two is human capital. How am I going to keep my people happy? How am I going to get more engineers if I need them? Unemployment in IT here in the States is like 1%. I mean, it's very, very difficult. And then third is just growth. Private equity has put in hundreds of millions of dollars into the MSP market. Their friends are selling their MSPs, getting nice cars. How am I going to grow organically or through acquisition? How does Nable help?
Well, number one, I think our peer groups are a great way to help these guys get through it. Why? Because we put like-minded MSPs together in a room, and guess what? They share all the stats you just talked about.
Yeah.
And they challenge each other. And we sit in the room and we facilitate, and that gives us the visibility that we need. And are they operating the right way on their EBITDA? Are they thinking about it the right way? If they want to sell their business, what do they need to do? What does it need to look like on the front end, on the back end? And then their fully labor-loaded costs. Are they thinking about it the right way? Who better to do that than their peers?
Right.
And what Enable does is brings them together, and it creates that community. And there's a void in the market. Like it's been great that we've been able to lean in. We spun the company out in 2021. That was a main reason, was to make sure that we could do this. And that it starts at the top. John believes in that. I believe in that. I remember when John called me when we were spinning out, and he says, "Okay, I got the name." And we had 3 names on the table, and not one of them was Enable. And I come from the original Enable, and he says, "Hey, we're going back to Enable." And it was on the Sunday afternoon, and I was quiet. And he says, "What's wrong? You don't like it?" I said, "Well, I love it." I said, "But are you ready?" I said, "Because what it means partnership. It means we got to be there for these guys. And it means another level of service." And so he goes, "Well, that's exactly why I want it." I was like, "All right, I can get behind that, but I'll call you out if we're not doing that." And so we've lived up to that, and I think that carries itself all the way through, from product management to customer success, and it's all intertwined right now.
What keeps you up at night, Frank?
A lot of things, but I'd say probably number one, always worrying about getting that email that someone has been attacked. And then, was it on our watch? And how are we going to respond? Like, it's not a matter of if it's going to happen. We know it will.
Right.
But are we prepared? Are we prepared, and have we did the right stuff? And there's a lot of moving parts. We operate globally. We serve 140 countries globally. Amazing. So these things can happen anywhere. And so what keeps me up at night is just that constant 24/7. Is this going to happen? When's it going to happen? And then we get into the war room, and then the war room starts, and it creates a cycle, and it throws everything else for a loop. And guess what? You still got to hit your quarter. You still got to you still got to retain your customers. You still got to keep your customers happy. But you're dealing with this, and that becomes that priority.
Wow.
And then my people, I manage a fairly large organization, and they're spread out across the globe. I mean, 55% of Enable employees are international.
Wow.
And so as a leader, you're always thinking about, how do I build the right org? Are they motivated? Do we have the right leaders in place? And so as you expand and build, are we doing the right things for them? And there's a lot of geopolitics going on right now. So keeping that balance that keeps me up at night as well.
Yeah, it sure does. And
yeah.
What if discipline wasn't about punishment, but about unlocking your best self? I spent 2.5 years writing Discipline for Greatness because discipline changed my life. And I know it can change yours too. This isn't theory. Inside, you'll find real, practical steps you can use immediately to focus better, build stronger habits, reduce stress, accomplish your goals, and bring more balance to your life. Whether you're trying to get healthier, improve your career, or simply feel more control, this book gives you the framework. Start today. Grab your copy of Discipline for Greatness at joeypinz.com/book. Thank you.
look at the masters. Look how clever these actors are getting.
I mean, who would have thought that?
That's why I
They
didn't
can't
hear that.
have their phone for the whole day, so now they can't verify anything.
And so they're calling their partner, and their partner's worried
you
about
have to
them.
be
It's like,
right.
okay, I got to get them out of jail.
Yeah, I mean, it's. Does AI scare you? Does it give you pause? Are you optimistic?
You know, so it does in the way that it's transforming things. I think, you know, for me, AI hit me when I was, for the first time ever, we had connected Copilot to our back end. And I had, you know, and I didn't realize the power of it until I asked it in preparation for a board meeting. I was like, hey, give me the last, you know, year over year review of our ARR, our win rates. And all of a sudden it came out, and I spent about an hour and 45 minutes just analyzing. I was like, this is so powerful. And then I was like, okay, I'm bought in. I like this. And I got home a few weeks later, and there's my daughter on her iPad talking to Gemini on Google.
Amazing.
And I was like, wait a minute. Now I got nervous. I was like, what does this mean? And then I started talking to my MSPs. And then I started, and we went to RSA, and everything just, you know, it's like 6 months ago, we weren't talking about it as we are today.
Right.
And so when I come here today and I talk to these MSPs, well, here's this opportunity. Like, it's just another wave of this managed services play that I've seen over the last 23 years. And then there's cycles, or there's things that you start chunking together in technology. We've seen that in the 2000s. We've seen that in the crashes. And so I'm like, okay, here it is again. How is it going to play out? How do we position ourselves to help our partners? So I see it as a great opportunity for MSPs to really take advantage of that in their business, because I know a lot of small, medium businesses are not ready for it. And they're going to look to who? Their MSP, who's in charge of their technology, to give them advice and consulting to do it.
Frank, is there a question you wish more people asked you?
There's a few. You know, the question, you know, a lot of people ask me, you know, about leadership, and that's a fairly straightforward question. How do you scale businesses? One of my strengths, and one of the things that I've been able to do over the years, is really just figure out how to take resources, make them motivated to scale and grow with the business. Our business is moving really quickly. And if people were to drill in and say, I have this, you know, I have these 100 things, how do I make them, you know, 1 + 1 = 3? And that's one of the skills. If people ask that, that's an area where I can bring a lot of value. Not many do. They ask you the straight up for, how do I grow faster? How do I land new customers? And it's like, okay, pretty straightforward. But the question is, how do you scale with the resources you have and the people you have and deal with your today's problem while planning for the future? Yeah.
I end up talking to a lot of MSPs who say, well, we put on sales on pause because we don't have, you know, support enough to do it and to handle more. Nice problem to have, but you've really got to, if you want to grow, you can't be there.
No. I mean, it's interesting. You go back depending on which market, in North America specifically, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, MSPs were still landing customers, and there was not an MSP, an incumbent in the customer. Today, ask anyone on the floor, there's an MSP, and they're ripping out an MSP. Right. So it's a much more competitive space. You have all of these roll-ups in there that have like nationwide. Now they're going international with all of their acquisitions. And so everyone's touching on everyone's toes. And guess what? Like, now they're really realizing, oh boy, I need to scale my organization to. You got to land new customers, because attrition is reality. Not the MSP doesn't do a good job, but there's other roll-ups happening in their customer base, and so they're just naturally going to attrit. And you need to build those cohorts to ensure that your business continues to sustain itself.
Has there been, let's say 10 years ago, was there something you believed 10 years ago firmly you believed in that you no longer believe now?
I would say, I don't know. I don't know if there's one thing that sticks out in my mind, you know, that shocked me. I'll tell you this, I didn't think that the MSP space in the last 23 years would be at the space that it is today.
Really?
I mean, look, I started back in 2003 working with MSPs that were doing break fix. They were doing project-based business. And who would have thought that these businesses would have evolved? If you would have asked me, hey, I wouldn't have expected the level and sophistication of the MSP as to what they are today. It's what actually keeps me going in this thing. I got a lot of good friends, a lot of good colleagues. We had dinner with them last night. They've moved around to different MSPs. They've gone through a few different exits. And they're like, I remember back when you guys started talking to us about this. And I was like, I would never have imagined that the sophistication and the amount of private equity that would have gotten into the managed services space.
It's almost, private equity is almost legitimized.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hundreds of millions of dollars. My MSP was not for sale, but that did not stop the offers from coming.
Right.
And it was 2019, and I just got an offer I couldn't refuse.
And it was interesting, when we speak to Wall Street and we talk about the SMB, well, what's happened is because the private equity firms have been investing the money that they have, well, it has legitimized it. They understand it. They've seen it, how it's played out. And so, that to me is really exciting because we get to go all the way through, different
amazing
scales of businesses.
So I started the MSP back in the 90s, Frank, and I was working way too hard and stopped playing soccer and other things, and I'm getting, 14, 16-hour days, and Di's put in the back seat. Next thing I know, I'm in front of the doctor. She tells me I'm at 340 pounds. So I had gained all this terrible amount of weight. I didn't know I was that big. I knew I was getting bigger. Didn't know I was that big.
Wow.
She says to me, if you don't lose this weight, you're not going to see your daughter graduate. My daughter was just born. Scared the life out of me. I'm driving home, punching the steering wheel. I can abuse myself all I want, but it's much bigger than me now, right? I was in my 20s. I felt like I was invincible. But I had this beautiful girl that somehow I helped bring into this world. Spent the next 6-7 months, lost about 120 pounds, and kept it off. You can't look at these things as finishing lines. These are lifelong changes. When I tell people this, they always say, what's your secret, what you do? And I say, there's no secret, just discipline. Routine, motivation, focus, all under routine. How does discipline play a role in your life, Frank?
Oh,
Colletti?
I'm governed by it.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm very disciplined in the things that I do. I maintain a very, a strong physical regimen.
Do.
3-4 days a week, I'm always training. I eat what I want. I like my coffee. I like certain things, but I understand balance. I actually have a tattoo. That's all about balance. And it's why is that people always ask me. It's like I got a lot of things in the air that I need to maintain. And discipline is really important. It's making sure that you're doing the things consistently because there's a lot of players or a lot of people that can come in and they can be good for a little while. But to be good for a long time, you need to build that muscle memory to do it. So I have a routine in the morning. I have a routine the way I do things. You talk about kids, I've got 2 daughters, 9 years old. And
twins.
You got to be there for them. You got to make sure that you got a routine with them. And you got to stick to that. And I think that's really important. A lot of people lose sight of it. And they just say, it's today, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll start tomorrow. No, it's got to start now. Can't start tomorrow, can't start tonight. It's got to be a consistent thing that you do. And if you change it tomorrow, then the next day, you just got to counterbalance it by doing the opposite. People watch calories and they want to go into deficit. Just watch your calories and balance it out. And I think you can maintain it. You probably understand that quite well, given that transformation you've been under.
46-inch waist to 32. But, the thing
that's
is,
amazing.
People have to, it's consistent. People can gain it back. But a lot of routine, I hear you saying there.
Yeah, a lot of routine.
And as a kid, it was always the same?
For me, it was more, it started when I went to college. From a studying perspective. There's a certain way I study, there's a certain way I learn. I had to change my routine. Last year at Empower in Berlin, I almost didn't make it.
Wow.
And so I'm 52. At the time, I was 51. And I travel a lot. And I'm on planes. And I work out. But I was late, weightlifting. And I was not stretching. And so what happened is it all caught up to me. And I got sciatica down my right leg.
Oh.
And it was bad. To the point where I was taken to the hospital.
Whoa.
And I had to work through that entire cycle. And I called John and I was like, hey, I'm not sure I'm going to make it. But what happened was I went to see a spine, I got an MRI, I went to see a spine specialist. He says, listen, the good thing is he was very similar to my age. And he goes, hey, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just getting old.
Too many birthdays.
Yeah, you're just getting old. He goes, that's the good news. And he goes, the bad news is you're going to have to change who you are. You got to make Frank Colletti 2.0. You got to change your routine. So I actually had to change my main stage presentation, and I made it all about routine.
Wow.
And since then, I've had to incorporate yoga and Pilates into my lifestyle. And I thought, okay, I could do this, but I'm probably as flexible as a concrete block. And so it's a journey for me, but I've been doing it. It's 3 days a week, guaranteed.
Wow.
Before I get on a plane, before I golf, before I do something, it's now become part of my routine. And I think that's important, is that your body tells you something. Sometimes you miss the signals. And sometimes, it it locks you down, and you're just, and that's transformed me into a new discipline and into a new routine that I'm following right now.
Wow.
So it's
Good
funny
for
how
you.
life takes you on that journey.
Your body is speaking to you. It tells you, and you had to make a change.
Yeah, and then there's this other thing. I travel a lot, and so I got these young daughters. So every now and again, I'll play cats in the cradle.
Aww.
Just so I can listen to make sure I know when I'm back in. And these are part of the routine things that I do, because otherwise you miss them. They're 9. They're going to be 14, and then they're going to be going to college, and then life's going to change immediately. So you really got to balance these things out. So anyways.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Has there been anything in the last month or so you changed your mind on?
I would say that the approach to the way that we're engaging new prospects, I have. Being in sales for as long as I have, you have a certain playbook that you run. We've evolved that playbook. It's got to change or you're not relevant. But what's really happened is we've had to focus in on much more peer-to-peer, face-to-face type events. So we introduced events that allow us to talk to business owners about their businesses. And what that's done is we get them in a room, there's 15 or 20 of them. We do a lot more events, but smaller events that are more meaningful and leave a lasting impression on them. And what that does is it just unlocks the door. There's no discussion of products.
Wow.
It's a discussion of their business. And they're like, we spent the whole day with you guys and you haven't talked about Enable's products.
Isn't that something?
What happens next? The follow-on playbook is we have a boot camp for their technicians. And every single one of them sends their techs to spend time with our nerds, spend time with our SEs, our product managers, to get the full landscape of our business resilient platform. And so what happens is they come back from that, and then the owners call and say, hey, we want to try this product out. And we're like, great. And so that's been a change for us. And it's harder because it's not volume. It's about focus. It's about knowing who you're going to target. And then putting the right resources behind doing it. So that I strongly recommend people thinking about that, because our business is all relationships. It always is. But this type of approach, especially with the amount of information going to people, you have to connect. And that connection happens in face-to-face conversations and dinners, and that's been a change for us. And so we've implemented that. And so in some of our less mature MSP markets like Germany, now we started to do that, and all of a sudden it's like now that's starting to accelerate, and we're having conversations with people that we didn't have before.
Great approach. I know the peer groups completely changed the way I did business.
Yeah.
When I did it. Yeah. And then to be able to have a vendor partner that you can rely on, that's not always trying to pitch you, it means the world to
It does. And if they don't go to those sessions and knowing they're not getting pitched,
right?
We what do you guys do? Well, we help businesses deliver business resilience. And how do we help you guys deliver that to your SMB customers? And how do you guys actually monetize your services? And the conversation naturally then leads to our products. So it's great. It's worked out well. We did an amazing event at the U.S. Open, at the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
We had a small group of people, like meaningful events.
Whoa.
We brought them to the city. Cities, our bank, and we spent time with them in Manhattan. They got a chance to speak with their, the chief economist, and you have these
So
events.
cool.
And so now they're coming back home and saying, okay, well, we're going to partner with these guys and we're going to work with them. They really get it. And so it's awesome.
Want to show your love for discipline, inspiration, and the Joey Pinz podcast? Now's your chance. Introducing the brand new Joey Pinz merch store, where style meets discipline. Choose from premium apparel, cozy hoodies, stylish hats, durable bags, and your new favorite coffee mug, all featuring the iconic Joey Pinz logo. Perfect for podcast fans, discipline enthusiasts, or as unique gifts for friends and family. Every purchase supports the Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations podcast, helping us continue to inspire greatness and promote positive change. Visit joeypins.com/store today and wear your discipline proudly. Joey Pinz merch. Wear it, share it, and live it.
Great pleasure talking with you, Frank. Nice seeing you a couple weeks ago in San Francisco there.
Yeah, it was awesome.
They don't call it RSA, it's RSAC they want us to.
RSAC?
Yeah, I don't know.
They added the conference?
Yeah, they had the conference. Who knows?
It was, it was great seeing you there as well.
Yeah. If anybody's watching, listening, how can they get in touch with you? What's the best way?
Easiest way is frank.colletti@enable.com.
And also,
And
you're
always
active on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and hit me up on LinkedIn, of course. That's Frank Colletti. You'll find me straight up there.
Frank, thanks so much. I really appreciate it.
Really appreciate it as well. Thank you.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypins.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations.